All right, here we go. So welcome to tonight's team call. It is a Monday, October 15th. We are halfway through the month already. I feel like we are just at the beginning of the month. It is insane, you guys. But that doesn't mean that we can't still make some amazing things happen. So tonight, sorry, I'm just muting everybody to make sure I don't have any distractions because I get squirreled very easily. So tonight we're going to talk about time management, because every single person on this call, whether you're married, you're a mom, you're a dad, you have kids, whatever, the multiple kids, you're just having kids, your life is busy, okay? Everybody is busy in today's world. I don't care if you think that you're not, you are, or if you think that you can't take on anything else, there's always time to make your goals a priority. Okay. So tonight we're going to help you with making your business a priority, because you guys are business owners. When you enroll to become a coach, or maybe you started as a discount coach and now you're wanting to work your business. When you said, I want to work my business and I am a Beachbody coach, you committed to owning your own business. Okay. So when we own our own business and we are our own boss, we have to show up and we have to create discipline within our own time. Leanne and I are not your bosses. We are not here to stand over you and say, hey, did you get your workout done today? Did you do your inviting? Did you do this? Did you do that? That's a manager. We are not managers, okay? So it is up to all of us. It's not just up to you guys, but it's up to us too, to show up and do what we're supposed to do in our business, right? Nobody reminds us to get team call content together. Nobody reminds us to remind you guys of the team call content. That's where we're at this stage in the game. And that's what we have to do as a priority for our teams, okay? So we're going to help you because we understand that this is a super challenging time in your business. It is challenging to find that rhythm. It's challenging to create that discipline and to find that balance of when to show up for your business, what action items you should be focusing on, and when to also unplug. I'm going to bring up Nate because he said, it's nice to see that you take Saturdays off. You guys, you have to unplug. I could very easily work this business all the time. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I get focused and I am working towards a goal or whatever. And I put a little bit, I take too much time away from my family. And my husband puts me in check. It doesn't happen all the time, but we're very good about, he'll say, you need to put it down. Okay. Because I love doing this so much. It's easy for me to keep doing it, but you have to take that time. Okay. But that doesn't mean you take 2, 3, 4 days time. If you want this business to work, you have to work. I shared a quote earlier today. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. Successful people don't just show up. The coaches who are excelling at a rapid rate and are increasing their income and moving mountains aren't just showing up when they feel like it, you guys. They have discipline and they show up and they take action in their business. So we're going to help you to create that management for your business as well. Okay. So 1, we need to set business hours. So I'm going to back up really quick. I'm going to kind of tell you how I work my business, what my kind of tips are and how I work my business, because I still work 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then Leanne's going to tell you how she works her business and keeps discipline with being a stay-at-home mom. Okay? Because they're 2 very different schedules. And we have some people who are stay-at-home on the teams, and we have people who are still working like me. So I think that it's important to see both sides, because sometimes it's easier if you are a working person to be more disciplined in your business because you have less time available, so you can be more intentional. And I think Leanne will probably touch on this. When you're a stay-at-home mom or you're able to step away from your full-time position, you're like, oh, I have all this time in the world. And before you know it, the day is gone. Okay. I know a couple of my girls struggle with that because they don't work a full-time position or every day. So we're going to touch on that as well. But number 1 for me is you have to set business hours. And my business hours look pretty much the same every day. except for on weekends, but they do fluctuate, okay? I look ahead to kind of see what we have coming up in the week, and I plan ahead. Just like with your workouts, you guys. Like if you know you have something going on in the afternoon on whatever day and your workout's not going to happen, you adjust your sales and you make sure it happens in the morning, right? Or maybe you move things around so that you get it done later in the week and adjust your week. But you look ahead. We have to do that with our business. We have to set focused, intentional time. We can't just leave it to chance that we're going to show up for this business and expect it to grow, okay? We have to set those intentional hours. So set business hours. Have control over your time. Don't leave it to chance. Don't let somebody messaging you or scrolling through social media distract you from your day. A phone call. When it's work time, notifications are off and the phone is off and the kids are taken care of and they have whatever they need and you are focused in your business, okay? You want to have a list of getting whatever you need done. What are your tasks? What are the tasks to get done? Not only does it keep you focused through your time, especially if it's limited, you guys, especially if we're busting out a power hour in 30 minutes or in an hour or an hour and a half. You have to have a to-do list to keep you focused, okay? And there's a correlation to that empowerment or feeling that high of checking things off your to-do list. I am so guilty of adding things to my to-do list that I did just so I can check them off to empower myself because I'm like, I did that too. Hell yes, I did that and I got it done. Okay. So make sure you have a to-do list and you know exactly what you need to focus on. Okay. We need to focus on the items or the tasks that are going to move our business forward first. When we first started this new coach training, we said it is going to be action-based. We don't want to be sucking a bunch of your time with trainings because you guys, you can fill your toolbox and fill your toolbox and fill your toolbox and never do anything. And it leaves you feeling discouraged and you don't create momentum. Okay. So taking action, we need to know, okay, so what are our action items? What's going to move our business forward? The first things that we need to accomplish are adding to our network, starting new conversations, right? New friends, inviting to both the coaching opportunity and a challenge group, okay? And what? Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, and doing your posts, making sure that you're posting consistently and doing stories, okay? So your action items are adding to your network, inviting, and sharing your journey and posting on social media, okay? Those are the things that are going to move your business forward right now. The management or the action items that we still need to do, but aren't as high in the priority list and kind of can be caught up throughout the week as we have pockets of time, are going to be things like responding to messages in your inbox. I personally I say Fridays for follow-up Friday, and I clear out my inbox on Facebook and I clear out my inbox on Instagram. Okay. So that way I'm not going too long of periods without talking or, responding to someone. Okay. But responding to messages, checking in with your groups, that's definitely something that you want to do once a day. You don't need to spend hours in your challenge groups, you guys. I don't want you spending hours in your challenge groups. Okay, because that's not helping you grow. You need to love on those people, but you can do that once or twice a day for 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, and just make sure that you're empowering everyone and you're liking and commenting on their things, that sort of thing. Okay, have a timer. There are so many power hour sheets out there. I know in my team, I have a ton of them of how much time you should focus on each task, but you write out your to-do list. Know how much time you have in front of you to get your work done and set a timer, okay? Because it keeps you focused on moving forward and getting those things done, because it's really easy to get into a conversation and before you know it, 20 or 30 minutes is gone and you're like, oh crap, like I still need to do X, Y, and Z, okay? So make sure you set a timer. You might not have to do that for forever. I don't set a timer anymore. But when I was really getting intentional with my time, or if I'm feeling very scattered or overwhelmed, I'll go back to using a timer because it makes me sit down and do the work and say, okay, look, I have 10 minutes left. Okay. And honor your business time and your family time. Okay? We have to have that separation. Remember, I said we have to unplug. There's nothing worse for you and your spouse than for you to say, okay, I'm going to sit down and work my business from this time to this time. And then you let it carry on and you keep working and you're taking time away from your family and you keep working and you keep working and you keep working. They're going to start resenting you because they honored your business time and gave you that hour, but then you keep working. Or they're not going to take your business time seriously because you don't, and they won't give you that time to work your business. And then you start to resent them because they're not honoring that time. So you need to have that mutual respect. And we have to understand that, look, these are my business hours. Can you please, I asked my husband, can you make sure, especially on weekends, I just say, hey, I need to sit down and work for an hour or two, I'm out, give me that hour or two, but then I have to shut it down. Right? Because it's not fair if they give me that time to take away from our family time after they gave me good focused time. Okay. So make sure you're honoring that. And for those of you, I know that some of you may struggle with having that spousal support or that support from your family and friends. This is huge. They will learn to respect you when you take this business seriously and you work this business seriously. When you have those business hours, they will see that you are hustling and know that you're treating it like a business. But if you're just saying, oh, I need this time, but then you're not producing anything because you're maybe just scrolling social media or you're stuck in trainings and you're afraid to take that action, you guys, we have to focus on the action items so that we move ourselves forward. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick example of what my typical day looks like throughout the week, and then I'll turn it over to Leanne. And if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat box and we'll be happy to answer, okay? So my typical day, Monday through Friday, I wake up at 4:50. I get my walk. I stumble downstairs. I grab my pre-workout meal, which is a shake that I make the night before, take it upstairs, and I sit and I hustle on my phone for an hour and 10 minutes. And I usually have a list in my notes section where it's adding on Instagram. It's following up with any people who are watching my stories from the night before. Maybe they responded to a poll, so I'm touching base with them to invite them because they were engaging, or I'm inviting off of a call to action post from the night before. But I'm typically doing those items that are going to move my business forward in case the day gets away from me. Okay, so I'm inviting, I'm adding to my network, I'm following up and starting those conversations with people who are watching my Instagram stories. I do that until about 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I go and start getting ready. I let the dogs out. I go downstairs and get my workout in before the boys wake up. And then from 7 to 7:30, if my boys are awake, that's fine. But from 7 to 7:20-ish, I have morning devotional time. So I'm reading my morning devotion and I am empowering my goals with journaling. So I write out an entire page of positive affirmations. I am, and whatever my goals are, that I'm already at those goals. Then I get showered, I get ready. It's time for boys, right? It's mommy. Then the mommy hat goes on. I take care of my kids. I get them to school, and then I go to work. I might check in a little bit here and there, but I am pretty much a one-man band running $1 million business for my parents. So I don't get to do a whole lot once I'm at work. Okay. So then when I go get my boys, I'm usually in the pickup line a little bit early and I'm hustling a little bit more, whether it's checking in with Leanne and we're kind of collaborating or whatever on things, or I'm following up with people. I'm going through my Team Z and following up with the people I needed to reach back out to, whatever. Then we get home, it's homework time. Once in a great while, I have to push my workout to the afternoon, but I try to get it done in the morning so that there are no excuses. It's dinner time. I'm usually making a post or a story just to keep engaged, and then it shuts down until my kids are in bed, okay? Because we have hockey or whatever. We're riding bikes or going for a walk or playing in the yard. Whatever it is, it's family time. And then once my kids are in bed, my husband usually falls asleep by 9 o'clock because he wakes up at 3:45 in the morning, and I usually hustle for another hour. Okay. So I'm just tidying up those things that I maybe didn't get done in the morning or kind of throughout the day in little power pockets while I'm eating my lunch or whatever, those types of things. Saturdays I typically take off, but I do still post on social media a couple times. And I check it in my groups and things like that. I really don't do a lot of messaging on Saturdays, but I do once in a while, just here and there. For driving, I might respond to a couple people type of a thing. But then on Sunday, I hustle for a good 2 to 3 hours. I'm scheduling out posts in my groups. I'm checking into my groups, making sure nobody needs my attention with meal planning, different things like that. I'm clearing out Instagram things and doing one more mass follow-up so that both of my inboxes are clear come Monday. Okay. So I hope that that gives you a little bit of an idea of, you guys, I'm very disciplined when it comes to time, and it takes practice. Believe me, it has not always been this way. It really has not. So don't feel like if you're kind of like all over the place and you're like, I don't know how she does it. How do you juggle it all? You'll figure it out. But you have to practice and you have to keep working towards finding your balance for it to work, because just throwing your hands up and saying, oh, I don't know where to start is never going to get you anywhere. So make that to-do list. Melanie Mitro says what? Make your to-do list. Tackle the things that you can. And if something is still on that list, move it to tomorrow. Okay? Move it to tomorrow and start again. Okay? Cool. I'm going to pass it over to you, Mama.
I have all these notes, and I was like, I want to hear what Corey has to say first. So I may sound a little scattered, but I'm going to get all these points in. So I will say, following what Melanie, coming off of that, Melanie says, if you don't get something done today, do it tomorrow. The thing that where I have failed in my business is I've done the things I love to do first. And for me, I love mentoring coaches. I love creating new coach trainings, new templates. I love personal development. Guess what does not pay you money? If you are not inviting to the coach opportunity, you have no coaches to mentor. If you don't have people that are wanting to run with this, you have nobody in any of these advanced groups that I was creating trainings for. I've created all these templates and it's like, who wants to follow it? You have to invite first. And Meg and Abby and Brittany had just attended leadership, and Meg hopped on a call with us on Friday to share some stuff. And I forget who shared it, but somebody was like, Emerald and Diamond, where you guys were at, this is the time in our business where we're building momentum. And so a lot of the time, to Corey's point, our spouses aren't seeing, or significant others or families aren't seeing this huge financial gain yet. And so they're like, what is it that you're doing? And so, I was telling my brother about this yesterday. This is all network marketings are network marketing businesses are like those businesses where you have to show up and work first, and you're going to get paid 30, 60, 90 days down the road. Where any other job, you could go to McDonald's, you're earning money right then. So you need to be showing up and doing these things and having faith that, Emerald, Diamond, this is where I'm building momentum when I get to 2-star. And like Corey said, you got to do it in your affirmations. When I get to 2-star, that's when it turns into a 6-figure business. Okay. And so you just have to keep showing up and being diligent and doing these actions. So my thing as a stay-at-home mom is you have to fill up your cup first. I had gotten away from it, over the summer, especially when it's been darker out earlier and it stays darker later in the morning. Getting up at 5 o'clock is not fun. I have a jerk cat. She's not here right now. She was just eating. She likes to wake me up, no lie, at 5 a.m. every single day. And most of the time I just want to roll back over and go to sleep. But today I was like, no, I am getting up and I'm spending quality time with me. And what happens? 5:10. Faith's, Mama, can I wake up? No, you cannot wake up. Now, today I was actually able to put her back to bed, but most of the times, once she is up, she is up. She is an early riser, which means I need to be up earlier, and I got to fill up my cup first. I need to, do that miracle morning, have meditation time, do my affirmations, do my visualization, read, and just take care of me. And it just felt so great this morning that I was a cattail, that I was able to have that time. Like Corey said, have specific business hours. One thing that I learned about myself is I was working like 9 to 2 by the time I would drop Faith off at school and then have hey, I just need to shut down and stop working for a little bit. It's 2 or 3. But I wasn't doing a lot of stuff during that time. I wasn't doing the vital things. So I would say it doesn't matter how many hours you have to work your business. You make the list of what you need to do to get it done. You know the numbers. On average, 1 in 10 that you invite are going to say yes. And so if you want to hit Success Club 10, you need 5 people to say yes. That means you need to invite at least 50 people and then some. And then, oh yeah, I need to be inviting 50 people next month. So I better be talking to 100 people this month. And I don't say those numbers to be scary numbers, but if you're hey, I'm working this business 5 hours a day, every single day, and you're not seeing growth, I want to challenge you and say, what are you doing with that time? Because if you're not focusing on the inviting part of it, it's not going to grow. And I will say this to add on to it. I had an amazing opportunity to meet with Arnold, however you say his name. Gosh, it was 4 years ago in November. And he was meeting with all the 5-star and above coaches in the Cleveland region. And he had an extra spot, and he was mentoring Meg at the time. And he said, do you have any coaches in the area? And she's like, yeah, Leanne's actually in the area. So I got to have a mentor call, one-on-one with him. And he said, when was the last time you did a power hour? Because I had quit my job. And so I want you to start thinking about this is what's going to take place. And this is what happens the minute you sign coaches, I swear. We go into management mode. Oh my gosh, I signed a coach. And so now I need to switch my business time so I'm focused on that person. And then we end up freaking out that person half the time because they're whoa, now why are you texting me or messaging me all the time? And we're expecting them to grow this business like we are. And again, that 1 in 10 that actually sign are actually going to do something with it and possibly hit diamond. And so I was spending all this time pouring into resources. And he's like, when was the last time you did a power hour? And I was like, I don't know. And he said, that's what happens with the majority of coaches, especially when they hit Emerald Diamond, they switch into this management mode. And he goes, you really don't need to switch into that management mode until you're 5-star minimum. So what's management mode to me? 80 to 90% of your time needs to be on your business. No matter what your coaches say they're doing, I'll call Corey up. Corey's upline is non-existent, but she's still rocking a business. And so, yes, we want to help our coaches. We want to help our team, as I'm looking at my whole team on this call. But I'm looking at all your beautiful faces across. But you got to meet people where they're at. And at this point in all of our businesses, Corey and I as well, we have to be focusing on taking action with our businesses. And that really means inviting. And I'm going to say it because I need to be called out on it as well. We need to be inviting coaches, because I think we talked about it. Did we talk about it last week? I forget when we talked about it, but Abby Walsh had shared, would you like to work 100 hours to grow this business, or would you like to find 9 other people that want to work it with you and all of you work 10 hours? I think we'd all rather work 10 hours a week, because no matter what, it's that time and somebody's got to put in the hours. And so you want to start really inviting to the coaching opportunity. And I know it's scary, you guys, especially when you're like, I have nobody on my team that wants to work it. You will only find those business builders by bringing on more people. And then all you have to do is lead by example. If they see you and they're like, awesome, she like checks into this new coach training group. We had like kind of like a getting started right. Like I got on the getting started right call. Okay, so that's all I do. Like now I got to start inviting. Like they know exactly what they need to do. And now they're not afraid to invite coaches because they're like, this is easy. I plug these people into these groups. We check in once in a while. And I just started, they just start inviting. And so all of our businesses grow that much faster because we're just leading by example. We're not creating these systems that make people feel like, oh my God, I could never do that. I don't have all this time. And so I have it again, but I will you got to do inviting first. Carl, last May, he came up with this group of people that he really wanted to help like grow some momentum for Summit. And he challenged everybody to do these 5 donuts every single morning. And people have, morphed them a little bit. So it's not just a complete cold invite, but every single day before you even got out of bed, kind of what Corey does, you're going to those people that are engaging on your posts and in your stories, and you are inviting them. And imagine, since I know most of you and I know myself, what would our businesses look like if we just every single morning invited 5 people to the coaching opportunity or to a challenge group? People that are already engaging on our posts. That would be 150 people in an average month. That's on average 15 people getting started, and so imagine where your business would be a year from now if you did just that. If you said, every day I'm going to invite 5 people. And then I'm going to do my workouts. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to connect with people. But every morning, I'm going to start out with that. Like, let's do it. Like, let's see what happens. And then we can come back and be like, hey, guys, remember that call on October 15th? Like, we're all 2-star diamonds or 5-star diamonds. Like, we're all making, $50,000 to $100,000 a year plus because we started doing those 5 invites and we were really intentional. My business tips really for not necessarily managing maybe your time, but have a place that you work at and work in. I have an office right now. I started out working at this kitchen table. I still work at this kitchen table in the morning or at night because Faith's bedroom is right next to it. Melanie Mitro started at her kitchen table. You can work anywhere, but have one way that you're tracking. Are you tracking with a notebook? Are you tracking with TeamZ? Are you on My Connection Builder? Are you in Google, on Google Streak? Are you in Excel? Find one place that you're tracking all of these things. And so that hey, this is where I go and I'm working. And it's work time now. This is Faith's seat at dinner. So I know when I'm in this seat, it's work time. When I'm in my office, it's work time. And when I open up these files and I'm keeping it organized, it's work time. If you are every single day shuffling around and being like, oh, I have this scrap paper here and I have this notebook here, and where's that file? You're going to waste so much of your work time trying to get organized and figure out who you're supposed to be talking to. And then the time's going to be up and your family's going to be like, well, what did you do? And you're like, nothing. I found that list that I lost 6 months ago. So have a list. And then kind of what Corey had alluded to, stop feeling guilty, especially as a stay-at-home mom. It is hard for me to turn off like work time. Like I feel like, hey, I've got to, play my part in this family. I want to help with finances, and I'll just quickly work here and I'll quickly work there. What ends up happening for me Sunday, yesterday, Justin's like, what happened to you? Like you turned into a raging lunatic, because I got a text and I got really upset about it. It was work related. It was not during work time. I was making dinner for my baby brother for his birthday. I was spending quality time with Faith, and that whole text message ruined my whole day. And all I had to do was like, no, it is not work time. I did not need to listen to it, and I could have just moved on, and I would have been so much happier. So have that work time and don't feel guilty. This past Saturday was like the first time I was like, I am not going to work, and I'm going to be okay with that. So these are the things that you need to like pay attention to when you are managing your time. For me, it's fun because I can, like Faith was off school Friday and today. So we had a play date all day today, but I knew she was at a dentist appointment at 9:00. From 9 to 9:30, when she was in the dentist, I was building relationships on Instagram because I knew I could do that from my phone right there. She was in the back with the dentist. I scheduled morning time on Friday to get my business time in, and so I could enjoy the rest of the day. She has a field trip on Friday that she wants me at. And these are the benefits of this business. Jeff Hill always says it, and I'll probably butcher it. Corey, you may know it, or you guys may know it, but he talks about we work this business so we can have a life. We don't make this business our life. So we are not asking you, hopefully if you get nothing else from this call, you've gotten that you're inviting first. But we never said you need to work this business 3 hours or 5 hours or whatever to achieve your goals. Because I went from zero business to I could leave my full-time job working this business 3 hours a day. But I was hustling in those 3 hours. I was inviting left and right. And I was like, I'm out of here. Like, you want to join me? Come on, join our team. But it doesn't matter how many hours you have. It could be 1 hour. If you're focused on the right things, your business will grow. So figure out, and I've had a file, get a planner, whatever you like, and just look at your calendar and say, what are my priorities? But make sure that they're your priorities. And I'll tell this quick story and then I will end it. Like 3 years ago, my sister called me and out of the blue and said, you want to go for a walk? I was like, no. It was the Friday before Thanksgiving. Faith School has the full week of Thanksgiving off, and the Thanksgiving that year ended. So like that weekend was like December 1st or whatever. I'm like, I have to hit my business goals. I can't go for a walk with you on Friday. And so a few days later, she called me and bitched me out and said I didn't make her a priority. And though I was shocked and I was upset, I was like, you're right. I know that's me, but like my priorities are God, my little itty bitty family, and my business. And nobody can tell you what different priorities are, but my sister's not paying my bills. And now my sister has a thriving business and I haven't even seen her for months. And so I'm like, I am not going to make you a priority right now. So we have tons of things that we want to do, and we can disguise it as, oh, this is a priority. Is it really? Because I know you have to get back to your why. Why are you doing this business? And if it is for financial gain, that's totally okay, because that's a main driver for me. I mean, that's what, none of us are like paying our mortgages like with good looks. I mean, like we're not like, hi, thanks for letting us live in the house. We're super cute. We're paying with money. So we have to have that. And so you have to look at it and be like, is this a priority right now? And again, delay it for an hour and say, I'm working in this business for an hour. It's not 3 hours. It's not give up your whole weekend, just focus time. So I think I started it off with, and I'll keep saying it. When you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else, whether you think you are or not. So make sure you're saying yes to your business, to your financial goals, to your families, but also focus on those important things. And I could give you a breakdown of my time, but it varies every single day. I do my workout first thing, no matter what. And then my goal is to get to inviting. It's scary, and it's just something that we have to do because we can't grow without it. So I think that's all I had.
Cool. Awesome. I think that was good. Hopefully that was helpful. And I'm just going to end it with inviting is not scary, you guys. It's exciting. Have you ever heard Mel Robbins, the author of the 5-second rule, talk about how if we allow something to be scary or fearful, that's what it's going to be. But what if our bodies don't recognize the difference between fear and excitement, or anxiety and excitement? What if it's excitement? I personally love inviting, but I also started to shift my mindset to saying that it's exciting, that I love doing it. If we keep telling ourselves that it's scary and, oh, I don't know if I can do it, and or, you get all weird about it, then it's going to be weird and uncomfortable and feel unnatural. But the minute that you start saying it's fun, this is the driving force of the business. This is where I get to change lives. This is where I get to offer this gift to people. Then it's exciting, right? Then you're inspiring people. What does it say? I can't read it.
I put inviting is exciting.
Inviting is exciting. It is. So start telling yourself that. Make it exciting. Make that the purpose. That's driving your mission forward of inspiring others, right? So it's not scary. It's exciting. It's making change. You're impacting someone's life. And I'll tell you this, I've had more people, since I've shifted that mindset, even if it's a no, they say, thank you so much for thinking of me. How nice would that be, instead of feeling like somebody's going to be like, oh, you're trying to sell me, or they ignore you or whatever. And they say, thanks so much for thinking of me, girl. I really love you, but now is not a good time, or whatever. It's much nicer, right? And it kind of makes you feel good that, oh, they liked that I invited them. And it makes you want to do it again. So awesome call. Make sure you're setting your business hours. You're making your goals a priority, you guys. Okay. Because the true desire, Denzel Washington, I say this all the time, true desire in the heart of anything good is God's proof to you that it's yours already. So your desire for more and for this business is proof to you that it's yours. You just have to go after it. Okay? Cool. All right. If you guys have any questions, you can always ask. Oh, Leanne's got one more thing. Oh, yeah. Picture. I was thinking of it while you're talking, and then I start talking, and I'm like, oh, everything goes out of my head. That's why I have to-do lists. Mommy brain. You gonna do it? I got mine up. Want to do a boomerang, or are we gonna do just a picture? Here, you do yours first. All right, let's do a boomerang. Be silly. Ready? Go. My bobblehead, always. All right, you guys, we greatly appreciate you being on the call and making your business a priority and taking the time. So now let's take some action and implement what we learned tonight, okay? All right, cool. We'll talk with you later.